Hey, Baxter Road Bible Church, Pastor Grant coming at you. It's moving day here at the Jones household. As much as it's been really neat to have you into our home, for me and Pastor John and Pastor Frank and Pastor Eric, it's time for us to pack up our little recording studios here and move back to the church building. So we wanted to let you know that as of July 12th, we'll be holding our regular services back at the church building. That's going to be a little bit of a scramble getting started. We're still finishing up some things in the sanctuary renovation, but we're coming back and we invite you to join us. Our services will be our normal services, our 10 a.m. and noon. The Wednesday services will begin on July 15th at their normal time, 6:30 p.m. And the rest of this video, we just put together to kind of let you know how that's going to look. So it's time to pack up and get going. Join me in the next segment of the video. Well, that took a little longer than I anticipated. I think I probably had to do a little bit more work to get here than you guys will have to do to come back to church. But here we are nonetheless. One of the things I wanted to make you aware of is we'd like to get you here a little bit earlier than you're used to. Not that it's going to be that tough to find a parking spot initially, but it's probably going to take a little longer to get in the building and get situated than you normally would. And honestly, getting here before the service is scheduled to start, that's not too crazy of an idea, is it? Okay, so I mentioned that it will take probably a little longer to get situated. Here's why. We're going to divide the sanctuary into two sections. The east side, that's the section closest to the mountains, or the side that you drive into, is going to be reserved for those who are comfortable with regular seating. And the west side of the sanctuary will be reserved for those who prefer to social distance. As you enter the sanctuary, you'll be asked your preference, and then you'll be seated accordingly by a member of our First Impressions team. And we ask you, please, to be sure to follow their directions. This seating arrangement will take a little longer than normal, so that's another reason to arrive several minutes prior to the beginning of the service. And just so you know, for health reasons, we'll not be serving food, coffee, or water before, between, or after services. If you'd like to bring water or coffee, we encourage you to avoid disposable containers whenever possible, and instead opt for a water bottle or a coffee cup that you can take with you when you go. So this is what our chairs look like now. I promise by the time you get back, we'll have them all nice and clean and lined out for your use. But I wanted to talk to you about chairs for a little bit. It's one of the changes that you're going to notice when you come back is that instead of being handed an information card, formerly known as a bulletin, when you come into the building, they'll be placed on the chairs for you to use. We do ask you that if you touch one, please take it with you when you leave. Also, at least for a while, communion is only going to be served once a month. We're going to use prepackaged containers that will be placed in the seat in front of you. Please make sure to take your communion cups out of the sanctuary with you. Place them in the trash receptacles in the foyers. And this is going to minimize the need for touching and cleaning. Now, we all want to do our part to keep everyone healthy, right? We don't want to be exposing anybody to something that you just left laying around. So again, please clean up after yourself. Take everything with you when you go. For now, there aren't going to be any children's Sunday school services. Our children's ministry department is following the ASD schedule, but we do welcome your kids to sit in services with you as a family. To help parents that may be concerned about this, we're going to provide some kind of activity kit to help keep them engaged. The fellowship room will be set up at the back of the sanctuary and reserved for those families with high-energy kids. At the end of the day, we got to recognize, church, we're family, and kids are a part of that family. So for the members of our family that don't have kids, let's be intentional in welcoming children into our services. We talk an awful lot from time to time about it takes a village to raise godly children. So this is one of those times when you can pour out some mercy and grace if maybe there's more noise during the services than you might be used to. Speaking of mercy and grace, we're going to be needing an excess of those Christian qualities in these next few months. We will be following the city's regulation regarding mask wearing in public buildings. Some of them might look like this. Some of them might look like this. But we also recognize that there are some folks who can't, for legitimate reasons, wear masks. There will be some folks who are okay with handshakes and hugs, and some who prefer to maintain social distancing. All of us need to have grace for each other. everyone's preference will be and needs to be honored and respected. We'll be following the Apostle Paul's exhortation in Philippians 2:3 to, in humility, consider others better than yourselves. Well, I think that about covers it. If there's anything that you can think of that I didn't cover in this video, please feel free to give the church a call. We'll try our best to answer the questions for you. And with all that in mind, the pastors are packed up and moved back in, and we're ready to see you back in church with us on July 12th. God bless you.